All right, 1961D here. Make sure I'm live. I think I'm live. This thing still says it's still telling me that there's 51 minutes left before my broadcast. Well, I'm on. I'm here. There we go. All right, 1961D. Maybe something special, maybe not. With today's record, we could be doing pretty well. So let's get through these and see what we've got. 1961D. First coin, Taco John. Nice looking earlier dice state coin here. We'll be taking a look at the reverse on the first 10 coins in this roll as well. Here we go. All right. Got nothing on that one, but it is a nice coin. All right, coin number 2 now. Shinbone. Let's see what Shinbone has. A whole bunch of die scratches in and around the date area on this one. Nothing else here. I would hope. A D over horizontal D. Not on that one. Let's check coin number 3 now. Sissy. Late die state here. See, obvious difference in the design between early die state and late die state. The new website, once we can get things really well straightened out with it, is going to be using stages instead of die states. The die state idea came about back when space on web servers was very expensive, and I had a limitation of 1 gigabyte on my web server, and that that limited the number of photographs I could use. Back then we didn't have really good JPEG optimizers that would take the size down on JPEGs, so we served what we could and we did what we could with it. And now the 21st century is here. Web space is much cheaper. Image optimization is much more efficient. And that means we can have as many images as we want, which means we'll be adding a lot more images of the die varieties as time goes on. And hopefully that turns up to mean that the website will be a lot better and a lot easier to use. That excites me. The other thing that excites me is that we're actually going to have an area on the website for articles, and we'll be writing articles and putting them up on the website. I'm not sure Eric knows this yet, but we're going to be writing articles, putting them up on the website, and it's going to help add a lot to the content of the website. Now, what does that do? Well, adding to the content of the website makes it more popular in Google. And Google will allow us to be much higher on search results for people looking for this information. and be able to find us much more quickly. I know, Eric. Just having a little fun. All right. Well, got to do something to cover up the fact that we got pretty much a dud roll here so far. Got nothing in this 61D. You kidding? 61D usually has goodies. Not all the time, but usually. Articles such as, well, one of them that I've already written is about die state and how die state could easily affect the value of coins once the grading companies catch on and start actually attributing die state to coins. And an early die state coin, if it were attributed so by PCGS or NGC, would be a far more valuable coin because they are a lot more scarce than the later die states. Early die state coins are just scarce to begin with. And if we were really recognizing die state when we were collecting coins and only collecting coins that are of early die state, we would be fighting over a lot of the less gradable coins out there. Lower grade coins. You have a 62 in an early die state that would be worth more than a 67 in a late die state. That sort of thing. But this article is about that. Thank you, Rhonda. Thank you, thank you. Up to coin number 11. This one is for Farm Dog. Hopefully he's still here. Oh, he is. And unfortunate, we do not have an RPM here. This is the last coin I'll be checking for double die reverse. And unfortunately, I think this is probably just going to be a roll we're going to rifle through. Because I don't think we're likely to find much. There's one for Chuck. So I will zoom in more on the mint mark area and we'll just check mint marks. Get my lighting just right. There we go. These really late die state coins. I see this one's much earlier. This one's pretty nice. No RPM, but it's pretty nice. Blaine sometimes. VLDS is generally a coin that has a lot of spreading die wear. Just a pretty ugly coin under a microscope, if you could imagine. Very little original detail. You see, this one's late die state. Very late die state is worse than this. I do believe so, Farm Dog. I think Fun Show is probably one of my regular haunts. So, barring all complications, I should be at the Fun Show in January. It should be the regular crew of Copper Coins people should be Mickey and Eric and I, and possibly Brian Allen. And then whoever else can show up, we'll be doing a dinner one evening. Big get-together of the Copper Coins family. Probably at Miller's Ale House, because that's generally the only place that's got an area large enough for all of us to fit. That little bug? He's get to be able to hear what's his face? Who's the nature guy? I can't remember his name right now. You know. And here we have the dust mite. Very small, doesn't eat much. Where do you live, Rhonda? But you're going to drive a car to the fun show? I'm barely close enough for that. Indiana. Gosh, that's too far away to drive. One for Frosty. So these are late dye state. Kind of mushy mint mark, mushy design details. Just overall, just not real pretty. You love driving? Holy shimoly. Well, you can come down here to North Carolina and get us and drive us, because I hate driving, and Mickey doesn't much like it either. But he doesn't mind. He'll do it. Eric, could you send me a email real quick with what else I needed to send to you? I'm going to go ahead and box this stuff up and send it today. It's an email, so I've got it in a good spot where I can look at it and just come up with anything you can think of that needs to be sent. There is a reveal show tonight, Trip. I do not have the flip inserts. You talking about the reveal flip inserts? I don't have flip inserts ready. Yeah, no, I was going to order those and I ran out of money. Cost over $300 to get those, and I just didn't have the money for it. I still don't really. There's an RPM. It's really minor, but it's an RPM. You can see it right here on the inside of the vertical stick. I'll tell you what I'll do, Eric. I'll print some inserts for you. My machine tends to print them a little faster. So I'll take care of a group of them for you and send them to you. Then I'll call Jamie and see what we can do about getting some printed for this coming week. Found 1 RPM in this roll, and it's a really minor one. And we're halfway through the roll, or just about. You're good up to 500. Where are you right now? 480 something? Very late die state here. After this week, 497. Okay. I'll start you at 500 then. And I'll take them over to Jamie and get them printed. We should have them by the end of next week. Wow. just not a pretty roll. I'm just for glad that the fun show is close enough to me. I don't need to fly. I could, but, and it might even be cheaper, but yeah, I don't, I have no interest in flying. I did it as part of my career for a number of years, and I don't mind the act of flying. I don't like the whole security thing and the long lines of people who largely don't think about anyone but themselves. Farm Dog, you and Adam gonna fly down, or you gonna drive down? Kind of figures to me that you'd go to Kansas City, or Adam would come to you, and you guys would fly together. Yeah. Right? Forgot about the people. Yeah, I don't forget about the people. Heck, it's enough for me to go to the post office and the grocery store. Sometimes I do pretty well at the shows, and sometimes I don't. It just depends on how many people are bouncing off of me. I don't like people touching me. There's Richard. But for anyone who's going to make it to the fun show in January in Orlando, Florida, we should all be there. Barring complications, we should all be there. And we will be having our regular family soiree. Invite all the people that we can get to go. Oh, I would, Rhonda. I'm not talking about the intended touching. I'm talking about when people are bouncing off of you and bumping up against you in crowds. They piss me off. And it just bothers me. I don't like having my back to people I don't know, and shows are not a good place for that. You always know, Blaine, if you look at the calendar, the fun show is always the Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday of the first full week in January. So the first week that begins on a Sunday, the fun show is that week. So it's going to be 8th to the 11th. Okay. I don't have the ability to look it up right now, but that's what it is. So, yeah. Wow. Sometimes 61D is beautiful, and sometimes it's just not. I think this is one of those just not times. One for Strug here. On to coin number 41. Anyhow, don't forget we've got that reveal show coming up this evening. First, we have a reveal by Eric. Eric, what date is that roll? Is it 60D, I think? And then we have the reveal show coming up at 7 this evening. And then at 7 tomorrow evening. This is Eastern time. So 6 Central, 5 Mountain, 4 Pacific. We will... Ooh, that's interesting. A little gouge down there. We will be having an auction on Tuesday. Oh, it's a Tails mystery roll, but should be a 60 or a 61. Eric's reveal is on this channel. We each do our own reveals, but we do it as a team. And I certainly hope his turns out better than this. This is just kind of... it's depressing. One RPM out of the entire roll. And the roll is not the prettiest coins. Most of them are late die state. This is one of those times where we play the gamble and lose. It happens. Up to 47 now, Kurt Pierce. Hey, 710 is oil upside down. What is that? Weakness in the rim there. That looks like possibly a small rim clip. Possibly. I'll flip it over and see. Should be right up in this area if it is. It'll be weak on this side too. Nope. Not a rim clip. Okay, so Rhonda, you have to tell me what an OG is before we end up here. Before we finish this off. I don't know what an OG is. It's one for Richard. And we're slammed down to the end of the roll. And it's exactly as it started. Not very good. And here's number 50. Oh, someone who's been here for several years. Okay. Mickey, last coin of the roll here. And once again, same result. Well, folks, sometimes it beats us. And that, I believe, is what is happening here. All right, so off until 7 p.m. 7 p.m. will be the reveal show. Eric's reveal will be at 5 o'clock in an hour and a half. So, thanks, folks. I appreciate it. See you this evening.